Welcome back to the show. Well, I am super excited to introduce our next guest. Not only is she Ottawa native, she's a songwriter, a sculptor, a truth teller, an artist, and she's from Ottawa here to release her 4th album. Welcome to the show, Shawna Caspi.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So you were our Canterbury graduate in Ottawa.
Yes.
Okay, a little while ago. I thought it was maybe 5 years ago, but it seems a little while ago. Take us on what you've been doing since then.
Well, I went to Canterbury for vocal music, and then that led me to going to study music at York University in Toronto. And so I've been living in Toronto since then, and I started writing songs and making records about 10 years ago. And then since then, I've, for the past 4 or 5 years, been on the road pretty much consistently, and I'm doing music full time now.
You don't seem like you're exhausted from being on the road.
I'm absolutely exhausted.
You are okay. Well, you smile very well through it. Okay, so you're now on your 4th album. So can you list right away your first 3?
Yes, the first one came out in 2008. It was called Paint by Numbers, and then the next one was called Skyline. And the third one was called Apartments for Lovers, and that was a solo guitar voice record.
Wow.
Because that's how I usually play live, so I wanted to do something that kind of sounded like the live show. And then my brand new album is called Forest Fire, and that is a full band album.
Wow. Okay, so is that the first time you did a full band?
The first 2 were full band as well, but it was nice to go back to it because it's really exciting to play with other musicians.
Yeah. And do have your musicians changed over time from your first album to now this album?
Mostly, yes.
Okay.
And I just worked with a new producer on this new album that I hadn't worked with before.
Who's your new producer?
It's Don Kerr, who is often found playing drums with Ron Sexsmith.
Yeah.
But he's got a great studio in Toronto, and he produced and recorded the album.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I just, I'm going to show everybody. I know we can't get all the photos, but we do have some of the pictures. This album cover, as beautiful as that is not a picture, yet a painting that you've done.
Yes.
Okay, so you don't only just sing, play guitar, tell stories. Tell us a bit about your art.
So I learned how to paint when I was at York University, and I've mostly been painting literal landscapes of places that I've been when I go on tour. So I get to see all these incredible places, and I wanted to share that with people somehow. So I started doing these little mini paintings of landscapes, and then when I made this record, the cover of the album is my first attempt at abstract painting.
You're doing very well. Okay, that's fantastic. Let's talk about your event that is coming up. You are doing the actual release in Ottawa. Is this this is the first? This is the first everyone's going to see it?
This is actually, this show is the last date on what's been a 2.5 or so month fall tour.
Okay.
So I was actually in the United States for most of that tour, and then during November I had a few shows in Ontario, and this is like the big last homecoming show.
That's great. Do you have a lot of friends that are coming to it? Everybody who knows? Oh yeah, they're going to. And if not, we've got a ton of viewers that are going to show. And it is at the All Saints, and it's Friday, and the doors open at 7 p.m.
I believe so, and the show's at 8.
And the show's at 8. But in that time, people can walk around and see your art, because you have your art that's going to be on sale as well.
Yes, I have a couple of paintings on sale, and it's going to be a solo show, so it's just going to be intimate and kind of bringing it all back home to where it started.
That's good, and that's what I wanted to ask you. Where did you get all the inspiration for your songwriting?
I get it from my own experience. I get it from other people's stories that they tell me. Having been on the road so much in the past few years, I get to meet all kinds of really interesting people.
Yeah.
And I think I draw in their stories as well.
Yeah, and then, so do you have a lot still that is in the can that you're working on? Does you feel like it's a constant motion that you have all these ideas for songs?
I always have ideas, but for me, I'm not the kind of person who can write when I'm on the road. So because I've been on the road so much, I haven't done any writing, but I'm really looking forward to having some quiet time back home where I can do that.
Okay, so you've got our last show here, and then how much time are you going to take before your next tour?
My next tour isn't really going to start till March, so I have a few kind of winter holing up at home.
No, you're going to get out every day. He just said we have to walk twice a week.
That's true.
Twice a day, 30 minutes. I'm sure you keep yourself active. Sorry, what song are you going to play for us today?
I'm going to play Never Enough.
Okay, and what's the story behind that?
It actually started from a songwriting prompt. I was doing some songwriting exercises during one of the cycles that I was in where I was just writing, and someone gave me the words "never enough," and I just went from there.
I'm sure there's a lot that we're going to hear. Thank you so much for joining the show. Good luck at your show. Everybody at home, make sure you do it, and enjoy Shawna Caspi.
Nothing comes apart like a mother's good heart when her boy's been living rough. She lit another candle for his soul, but it was never enough. She came here looking for peace and all her worry and grief, calling up to heaven, hoping for a little relief. She bowed her head like the good book said, trying hard to settle up. She said another prayer to keep him safe, but it was never enough. She came here looking for peace and all her worry and grief, calling up to heaven, hoping for a little relief. But those words can't bury the beast. He's gonna come out and bare his teeth, calling up to heaven, hoping for a little release. She cried, oh, won't you put me back together? I know that I've been gone a long time. I know I'm gonna have to do better. But Lord, won't you save my child? And if the good Lord knows everything that goes on, He's gonna call her bluff. She put another dollar in the bowl, but it was never enough. She came here looking for peace and all her worry and grief, calling up to heaven, hoping for a little relief. Those words can't bury the beast. He's gonna come out and bare his teeth, calling up to heaven, hoping for a little release. Calling up to